Good afternoon, families. Principal Carrington here. Hope everyone is doing well. Thank you guys for joining us. We're going to get started shortly. As always, the chat is open. If you guys have any questions, comments, or concerns, by all means, you can put the questions in the chat. We're going to try our best to be as efficient with time as possible. I know that the 2022 school year, there's a lot of questions, a lot of things that needs to be figured out, but we're going to try our best to make sure that you guys are good to go.
That should look like this.
Friendly reminder, adults, please make sure we're keeping our microphones on mute. If you need anything, you can unmute your mic and say hello to the people and dive right in. All right, here's the first question. Sabrina, good afternoon. Hope you're doing well. Teachers will be creating student rosters for next year on the 14th. So after that, we'll be able to share out what students' rosters will be. Well, thank you for reaching out with your question.
I don't like it.
When are we going on summer vacation? All right, Caleb, your summer vacation will be starting on Wednesday, June 16th, right after our Term 4 awards. Will it be after school? Also, will the school be open at 7:30? Sherry G, we got all those answers for you. We're going to get started right now. Good afternoon, everyone. The school year is almost over. Thank you for choosing Empower. I know it's been a roller coaster of a year, but thank you for sticking with us with all of our, well, some of our bumps that we had earlier this year, but glad that we was able to turn things around and make this a much more productive and constructive school year. Some of the things that we're going to talk about today is how we are going to wrap up this school year, what we know about the 21-22 school year, some summer opportunities that at least 70 of our Empower families have definitely taken advantage to. We're going to be sharing some information about that and some upcoming events about how we're going to make sure we finish this school year strong. As Ms. Jesus said, I know there's going to be a lot of questions. By all means, you can put the questions in the chat. And then as we go through each slide, hopefully we will be able to answer as many questions as we can. All right, so let's dig right in. All right, hybrid and in-person days, we have a quick update because of a variety of things that we need to do as a school to make sure that we're ready for next school year. So as Miss G just put in the chat, please try to hold your questions right to the end of each slide so we're able to present the information to you. And then if you have questions, we can answer that. So this is information at first is just for kindergarten families. If you are presently a kindergarten family, and you are a remote kindergarten family, considering the fact that the remote kindergarten graduation will be happening next week, we need remote kindergarten families to come to the school tomorrow between 10 and 3 o'clock so our wonderful kindergarten teachers can present your child with their cap and be able to take their picture so we then can use their picture for our remote kindergarten presentation. So if you are a remote kindergarten family, please come to the school tomorrow between 10 and 3 o'clock. Your students will have async work. So you bring your child to the school, our kindergarten teachers will take your child's picture with their cap, and then we can use that image to upload right into our kindergarten PowerPoint graduation presentation. For kindergarten hybrid students, since your child will be in the building on Thursday and Friday, that is when we are going to take the kindergarten hybrid pictures. So if you're a kindergarten hybrid family, please, there's no need for you to come to the school tomorrow to get your child's graduation picture taken. Just bring your child like you normally would on Thursday and Friday, and we will take your child picture then. Kindergarten remote students, please come to the school tomorrow between 10 and 3 so you can take your picture. That's kindergarten. Now moving forward when it comes to 2nd and 4th grade. For 2nd and 4th grade hybrid families, your last day for in-person hybrid instruction will be Friday, June 4th. I'll say that one more time. For 2nd and 4th grade hybrid families, your last day for hybrid instruction will be Friday, June 4th. For kinder, 1st, 3rd, and 5th grade hybrid families, your last day is Tuesday, June 8th. So for all hybrid families, the last day is Tuesday, June 8th. Afterwards, we'll be going remote for the rest of the school year, which will be from that Wednesday, June 9th to the Wednesday, June 16th. So families, the last day of school for students will be Wednesday, June 16th. We will be hybrid that day, and we'll be hybrid from June 9th all the way to June 16th.
You mean remote?
Remote, sorry. Thank you, Ms. G. We'll be remote for all of those days. Reason being is that we needed to do a lot of restructuring, a lot of movement to get our school set up for hybrid instruction, meaning a lot of classrooms were switched, a lot of desks was changed around. So we need to begin the process of getting our school back to where it needs to be so we can have 5 days in-person instruction when we get back to school in August. This is the reason why we're beginning to make the transition back to remote for these last couple days of the year. All right.
All right. So the next part of the closing at the end of the year is technology return. As you know, all students have needed technology at home or in school throughout this whole year. One thing that will need to happen is all of that technology will need to be returned so that it could be re-updated by our tech team for the summer. In addition, soon you will find out that our summer work is not going to be digital, it will be paper copies. So on the 16th and 17th, you will have the opportunity to, one, bring back your technology, hotspots, chargers, all laptops, and be able to pick up your summer work at the same time. Again, we have to wait until June 16th at noon because you guys have school, remote school, all the way up until then. So while there's a very little time, it's 12 to 4 on the 16th and then 9 to 4 on the 17th. That is our time to be able to pick up the technology. If this is going to be a problem, please contact us separately for one-off situations so that we can figure something out. But per the contract, it is your responsibility to return the tech as needed at the end of the year.
To jump in to piggyback on that, it is very important, especially when it comes to the amount of technology that we gave out. Some of us are on your second, third, fourth, fifth laptops. We want to make sure that when we do come back in August, we want to continue to incorporate technology into instruction. So this is why it's super important for us to get the laptops and hotspots back. So then we can hand to you your paper summer packets and your summer books, because we're providing all families with free reading books for their child over the summer. So you'll get the paper packet and you'll also get reading books once you return the laptops on June 16th or June 17th.
So let's get right into the 21-22 school year. I think this is something that we have been waiting to talk about. And there's a lot that we know, but there's also a lot that we don't know that will help you make some important decisions over the summer. And so let's just begin with what we already know. We know for sure that we will be providing in-person learning 5 days a week. What we don't know about learning modes is, as you know, Mayor de Blasio said that he will not be providing the DOE with remote instruction next year. What we do not know is what that means for charter schools, whether we'll even have the option to make such accommodations. We also don't know if there will be accommodations for students with medical needs to be fully remote. And so therefore, our initial learning mode survey will continue to be used because we just do not know what we can and cannot provide when it comes to remote learning. We are positive that we will be back in the building 5 days a week. We are not sure yet what this will mean for students who want to be fully remote. We know that some families have opted into fully remote, definitely not a big majority, but we will let you know as soon as we know about some of the ways that we'll be able to support you. Secondly, what do we know? We're here 5 days a week and we're going back to our regular schedule, meaning that students will be entering the school from 7:30 to 8 every day, and then leaving at 3:30 every day, except for Wednesdays when we'll begin from 7:30 to 8 and then end at 2 o'clock. In addition, we will also begin and both have after school we'll have some pilot programs at the beginning of the year, but given the COVID-19, we have been given further funding that will help allow us to hopefully get an after school program for all K-5 next year. This is something that we're going to be working with over the summer. And so as soon as we know our capacity, what the program will be, you'll be able to hear more about that. One thing for sure is that we will have clubs for starting with 5th grade or this year's 4th graders that will be run by teachers at our school. There will be a meeting around that next week. And then finally, we know that we will be returning to our regular uniforms, meaning that we'll have a gray top and we'll have blue bottoms or navy bottoms with sneakers. For example, on the next slide is just an example of our usual items. Those can be bought at Cookies and the school, forgetting the name. I will provide you with the link to both of the places where these where you can find our uniforms, but we will be going back to our regular uniform. And finally, one other thing we do not know quite yet is what the mask requirements will be, what our COVID testing requirements will be. As soon as the mayor and the DOE announce it, we will be following all the guidance that they provide. At most, we will go beyond what they provide, but we will not do anything less than what they provide as the guidance for us. Mr. Carrington, anything?
Yes, I'll jump in and say there's going to be a number of what ifs when it comes to what will New York, what will the country look like when we're getting ready to get back into the school building in August. Right now, we are anticipating, contingent that the numbers stay where they're at and continue to get lower, that we should have all of our teachers and over 95% of our students back into the building. But as we've learned throughout this entire process, things change. So definitely we will be sending out communication with our howler during this summer. We will be able to have another parent meeting before the first day of school in order to give everyone more direct, updated information. but we just want to make sure that parents know or just get ahead of the level of questions that could come. But what if, once we find the information and once SUNY and the state and the city are able to continue to share clear directions of how we need to proceed, as Ms. G sent, we'll be able to do exactly what they ask and even go above that to make sure that when you are sending your children into the building, that we are doing any and everything that we can to make sure that students are safe and teachers as well, to make sure all staff members are safe so we can do what we do best, which is provide the best quality education we can for your children. Steph, we're going to stop there to see if anyone has any questions based on things that we've shared thus far. Steph, I believe there was a question about purchasing uniforms.
Yep, so I was going to answer it in type of way, but when it comes to uniforms and purchasing them at the school, we will not be formally selling shirts. We do have a small number of them, but because it's a little more complicated than just giving shirts out, we are not going to be selling formally. If you need assistance with uniform purchasing, financial assistance with that, please reach out to Empower Operations and then we can figure that out. But we're not formally selling shirts ourselves.
All right, let's continue to move on, Lishi.
Yep. Okay. So our school calendar, our official school calendar is 5th grade graduation will actually be, sorry, I just want to answer this question. If you are here for the 5th grade graduation meeting, it will begin at 4:15. You can stay right in this meeting and not pay attention at all because a lot of this will be repeated if it's relevant to you. But there is some information in here that is not relevant to 5th grade right now. And so please be mindful if you're listening that you will get the actual information regarding 5th grade in about 20 minutes. But our 21-22 school year calendar is the same for K-5 and K-8. It is closely aligned to the DOE calendar, except for the start of our year. We will be starting the year for new kindergarten students on August 18th. Everybody else, meaning everyone on this call, except if you have a student that is entering kindergarten, meaning they're currently in preschool, everybody else will be starting on Thursday, August 19th. And Thursday, August 19th and Friday, August 20th are going to be a 7:30 to 12 p.m. day. Our first full day will be the following Monday, August 23rd. Here is just a quick overview of the first couple of months. Again, this is all on our website, but as you can see, we have Labor Day off. That will be anything in blue. In October, we have the 11th and 12th off, and then in November, we have our Thanksgiving break that you see there. Outside of that, we will have anything that's also in purple, that teacher in-service day on November 2nd. Outside of any of those days, we will be in the building. Before we go on, I see lots of questions in the chat. Mr. Carrington, I don't know if we want to address them now or if we want to wait till the end.
We can address a couple. Yes, we can, because I'm answering a couple that was sent to me privately, but you can dive in and then I'll jump in and support.
Okay. So first graders are not taking graduation pictures. Okay, great. You said the last day of 3rd grade is June 8th. So this is, let's just make sure that we go back to the slide, and I will start to remind everybody every morning once June 8th hits where you should be, because 3rd grade, the last day of in-person is on June 8th, meaning that the following week, you still have school. Everyone will still have school until June 16th, but it will be remote. So Wednesday, June 9th, Thursday, June 10th, Friday, June 11th, and then Monday, June 14th, Tuesday, June 15th, and Wednesday, June 16th. Those will all be remote days, but everyone should still be attending school and class. It'll count as part of your attendance. really important that you continue to come to school remotely during that time. And then is in-person school mandatory? Because the parent question, I selected remote. Exactly. So going back to what we know and what we don't know, we provided that survey. As you know, and as you've probably seen in the news, a month ago, Mayor de Blasio had said that we would have some form of remote instruction happening next year. 1 week ago, he decided that we are no longer going to provide remote instruction in any form. What we do not know is the actual details of what that means for us as a charter school. Does that mean that we will not be allowed to provide remote instruction? Does it mean that we will have to follow exactly what they say? That is what we're sort of waiting to hear. And that's why we're going to continue on with our survey, because if we are able to provide in-person remote instruction, and if our network decides to provide remote instruction, then we will be providing that to the families that have requested it. And if there is going to be medical accommodations for remote instruction, we will also be providing that. And so the survey should still be taken. We still know who has chosen to be fully remote. But what we don't know is what we can accommodate based on what the DOE says we must follow and what we must not. And so again, you will be hearing from us a lot through the summer as things develop, so that we can give you the answers to those things that we currently do not know. But something that we do know is that there are still scholarships available for summer opportunities. We have about, I think, 60 families who have already applied and have been accepted to the summer scholarship program, meaning that we will be providing assistance, financial assistance for you to attend a summer program of your choice. So again, we still have availability, and therefore it is on a first come, first served basis. If you would like to apply, I'm going to put the application in the chat. And then you can also find the programs that are available through our website. So again, if you have not signed up and you have a summer program that you would like for your child to attend, and if you would like and if it is a paid program, we are providing scholarships to the summer programs of your choice.
Additionally, this will be a good plug for everyone to make sure you are reading the communication that we are sending to families on a weekly basis, because a number of the summer applications were already sent out a couple times. So as Ms. G just said, we just put the link back into the chat. But if you are not receiving our communication, definitely reach out to Empower Operations so we can make sure that we have the most updated email communication, because we have over 70 families who did take advantage of those applications. As Ms. G sent, we are still accepting applications. So you can click on the link and fill that out. Adler's, our uniform will be exactly the same you wore in 3rd grade. Gray polo, navy blue pants, and sneakers of your choice.
In addition, I just put the link to our family website, which has been updated with all of the information you will currently see in this slideshow presentation, including all of the applications and learning mode surveys, meaning that anything I put in the links for today, you will see on our website, including the calendar, the full calendar for the whole year for next year.
Got it. And to quickly jump in, I see another question I wanted to quickly answer. Carmelo's mom, your summer programming begins whenever the program you selected begins. I don't believe there's a uniform start date for all of the programs. You just need to see, based on the communication you receive, what date that particular program begins, and that's when your summer program starts.
And now on to our required summer work. Mr. Carrington, would you like to take over here, or do you want me to?
Yes, indeed. Parents, for some of you are asking, why are we doing summer packets? Because kids have been staring at laptops for over a year. And considering the fact that we are going back in the building 5 days a week, we want to get students refamiliarized with picking up a pencil, working on a piece of paper, writing out their work. So this is why we wanted to ensure that our summer packets are on paper. When it comes to the work, shout out to all of our teachers who've been working so hard throughout this entire school year on weekends, evenings, early mornings to make sure we're providing the best education we can to students. All of the summer work won't just be general busy work. It will be work that is specifically tailored to the areas of growth that your students are need to develop in. So you may see a lot of fractions work in third grade. You could see a lot of story problems in first, second, and third grade. So the work that your child is receiving in math or ELA is specifically tailored to make sure that your child has the level of support that he or she needs so we can be our best in August. So this packet isn't designed for your child to just do it the last week that we come back. Maybe give them a break because this has been a long school year, but throughout the summer, have your child periodically work on those packets. And then for you as a parent or guardian to check their work to see whether or not students are correctly doing the work. And then we're going to be sharing information soon to let you know how we're going to be collecting these packets once students do come back to the school building. But once again, to reiterate, since we are having families come to drop off tech on the 16th and the 17th, those times are on the screen right now. This will be when we will be handing packets to those particular students as well. So you drop off your tech, and then we will hand you your paper packet and books, and then you can begin the rest of your summer.
I'm just going to pause here for questions because we just, oh yeah, questions?
Yes, I have a question. Can I speak or no?
Absolutely.
You're good to go.
Okay, my question is, the summer work, is it for new students as well?
Was this for the sixth grader that we was just talking about in the chat?
Yes, she starts sixth grade. She's in a different school now, but she starts sixth grade with you guys next year, and Haley starts second grade.
So there will actually be an opportunity for, if you are able to come on the 16th, 17th, you are more than welcome to come if you're going to be a fifth grader next year. But you would also be able to come in later on throughout the summer as well. We will have a separate time in early July for incoming families to come and pick up materials as well.
Okay, thank you.
Good afternoon. Hello?
How you doing? Yes, we can hear you.
Okay, so for this week is the last week for hybrid learning for second grade. Second grade, right?
Yes.
This Thursday and Friday.
Yes, Friday will be the last day for your second child to come into the building. Yes.
Okay, and I just want to make sure I'm getting it right. Technology return is the other week, the 17th.
The 16th or the 17th, the afternoon of the 16th, or not all day, but from 9 to 4 17th.
Okay. And new students won't be getting a package. No, well, she's going in kindergarten, so she should be fine. I want to make sure I get everything correct.
I guess I appreciate, as an educator, we appreciate the checks for understanding, definitely.
Okay, so new students for kindergarten specifically is going to be on the 17th of August or the 18th?
So the new kindergarten students will actually have something special happening in July that Ms. Staley will contact specifically for kindergarten. Anyone that is here that is going to be a new student in 1st through 5th grade next year is able to come and pick up the packets. They will be similar, but we cannot give incoming kindergartners and future 1st graders the same work. And so therefore it's going to be completely different work provided to our pre-K friends or our current pre-K friends who are going to be new kindergartners next year.
Okay. All right.
And just to pivot a little bit and to sort of summarize a lot of what we've already talked about, this is what's happening. It's a packed 2 weeks, as you can see. Starting tomorrow, for the rest of this week, June 2nd to the 4th, 3 through 5 will have their ELA iReady assessment. This will all be happening online and on their computers during their class time, but it is something that will be super important for us to gauge where they are ending their school year when it comes to their ELA development. Tomorrow, as we said earlier, anyone that is fully remote and in kindergarten will pick up their graduation hats and take pictures. That will be part of the graduation presentation happening on June 9th, Wednesday, June 9th at 10 a.m. Then this Friday, this is not included, but sorry, next Friday, this Friday, June 4th, will be the last day for 2nd and 4th grade families coming into the building. June 8th, again, will be the last day for all students. That means kindergarten, 1st, 3rd, and 5th in the building. And then we go right into our graduations on June 9th for kindergarten, June 10th for 5th grade. June 15th will be a virtual field day. More information will be coming from our culture team. And then finally, we end on our last day with the award ceremonies for 1st, 2nd, 3rd, and 4th. Again, all of the Zoom links for any one of these virtual events, except for the field day, are on our website. I will just put that in the chat right now. All the Zoom links are right there. In fact, many of them will be in this Zoom link you're in right now.
To quickly, because maybe other parents who are in 2nd grade may have this same question, whether or not next year, considering the fact that we spent this entire year for the most part on a laptop, whether or not students next year will be required to take the state exam. They haven't released any communication when it comes to the state exam, but I am pretty sure if your child is in 3rd, 4th, or 5th grade in the 2021-2022 school year, that they'll be taking the ELA and math state exam in the spring, regardless of whether or not they spent this entire year on a laptop. Once we are back in school, it's going to be all systems go, and there's not going to be much, if any, accommodation, considering that a lot of students were on a laptop. It will just be on me as the principal, us as a leadership team, and us as teachers and parents to make sure that we're providing the best quality education we can in order to address the level of unfinished learning. Wallace, Shalonda, fair point. Like, it may not be fair, but they haven't released it. Information, things may change, but considering the fact that I've been in this education game for a little while, I'll be surprised if they do make any level of accommodations next year to compensate, for lack of better words, when it comes to kids being on laptops all year. And yes, you hang out here for the 5th grade meeting. Jeremiah, but I got Jeremiah. As long as you are working in 4th grade, you don't have to worry about summer school. But since you've been asking so often, I wonder how hard you've been working in 4th grade. Just do it, Miss Chalisi, Mr. Joseph, and Miss Gonzalez. You'll be good to go, Jeremiah. I wish you put the same effort in class too. I appreciate you. Let's continue.
Good afternoon. I have a question.
Yes, indeed. How you doing today?
Good. About the graduation, you're gonna be in Zoom or you're gonna be in the building?
It will be for kindergarten. Kindergarten graduation will be on Zoom. It will be at 10 o'clock next Wednesday. We're gonna send a flyer. We're gonna send out that Zoom link if you don't have it already. So you won't need to do anything. Alpha will have his picture taking on Thursday. You won't have to do anything for that. You just send the school like you normally do. Then we'll send you information on when with the Zoom link and the flyer. So at 10 o'clock next Wednesday, you click on the flyer and you'll be super proud watching Alpha graduate from kindergarten.
All right, thank you for that.
No problem. All right, this was mentioned earlier. I don't want to get too much in depth about this. One, to name, we understand one of the areas of growth for our school is an after-school program. So right now, in the first step, we hired, and shout out to the all the teachers, particularly Mr. Stubbs, that have been pushing this, is that we want to launch a pilot after-school club next year for only 5th grade. So this is why next week we're going to be having a meeting. So present 4th grade families whose children will be in 5th grade next year can come to that meeting to learn a little bit more about the after school club that we are potentially planning on having for our 5th graders next year. Additionally, we are looking at different outside organizations who will be able to come into the school to have a full-fledged 5 days a week after school program. We're still in the process of looking at different vendors and talking to them to see what we can do. So we'll definitely share more information about a bigger after school program as soon as we get the ball rolling with that. But nevertheless, we do have this pretty awesome after school club that we're going to be launching for 5th graders next year. So next week, we invite all 4th grade families to come to that meeting so you can learn a little bit more about that after school club that will feature homework help and a couple of great activities that are run by teachers in order to create more learning experiences for your children. More information about that specific after school club for 5th graders will be shared out next week. And there's been a bunch of questions. No, there is graduation for 3rd. We are only doing a remote remote kindergarten graduation and an in-person 5th grade graduation, but we are having our award ceremony on Wednesday the 16th for grades 1, 2, 3, and grade 4. So if you're wondering, man, my child needs to be celebrated, your day is that award ceremony, but kindergarten and 5th grade really need their opportunity to shine. Kindergarten is going to have their remote graduation on the 9th, and 5th grade is going to have their in-person graduation on the 5th. On the 10th. Ooh, I think I got all of them. All right, let me see if I go over these questions.
And again, this is all on our website. As you can see, I hope that you can see the sites that I'm showing right now, but here's where all of the Zoom links are located along with the dates and times for 1st and 2nd grade award ceremony, 3rd and 4th, as well as kindergarten graduation, which will be Wednesday, June 9th. The following week on Wednesday are the 2 other ceremonies. Before we come back to school, do we think everything will be back to normal? That's a lot of the questions that we don't have answers to yet. That's what we're hoping. And as soon as we are given the guidance, we will be able to know. But as of right now, we just don't know what's going to be expected for next year.
After school is hot. We are looking into different outside organizations who can come into the school to be able to provide an after school program for kindergarten through 4th grade. But as of now, for year, we are only starting the pilot program for 5th grade. Why? Because a decent amount of the 5th graders can self-dismiss. So right now, since we have a lot of new things happening, this was the easiest lift for us to start the year off with. We do, if that goes well, we'll be looking to expand that program, but we need to crawl before we walk. We haven't had an after school program in several years. This will be a program that we run by teachers, so they're taking on additional work to do this. So instead of going a full-fledged program and things not going as well, we want to start with our after school pilot program for 5th grade first, and then look up other organizations who can come into the school to support for kindergarten through 4th grade. So I know trust me, after school has been something that we've been working hard to try to get because we know a lot of families want it, but we're gonna start off small with our after school pilot program for 5th, and then hopefully we'll have a bigger after school program to share with families once we return in August. Yes, Ms. Robinson, I should have led with that. My apologies. Yes, and the pilot program for 5th grade is definitely going to be free, but any other after school program, we're going to try our best to not put any cost onto families. COVID testing. That is another thing that it's still up in the air, because if it's recommended that we still do random COVID testing and temperature checks for next year, we will continue. At this point on June 1st, we have not gotten that information, but this is why through our biweekly howlers during the summer and a parent meeting we'll have at the beginning of the year, hopefully we should have as much up-to-date information to share that with families.
And just to give everyone a little time check, we have about 3 minutes until we start our 5th grade meeting. And so I do want to be mindful of their time as they are entering. If you have any more questions after that, you can try to send them in the chat, or wait until the end if you want to wait and stay for the 5th grade one if you're not a 5th grade parent. But now would be probably some of the last questions that we'll be taking for anything related K-4.
And you can always reach out to Empower Operations at explorenetwork.org. You can reach out to myself directly, Jay Carrington at explorenetwork.org as well. All right, Jeremiah, since you don't want to go to summer school, this would be a great time for you to go do your work. Go handle your business, Jeremiah. Oh, and I have to run to a meeting, so I won't be at the 5th grade meeting. So I just want to say thank you. This has been quite a year, especially for me, first year as a principal, to deal with the school during COVID. But nevertheless, this has been an awesome experience. Maybe I shouldn't be talking in the past tense. I'm coming back. I'm not going anywhere.
5th grade families entering. If you are not a 5th grade family, you are more than free to stay, but you'll be listening to a lot of the same information and other completely irrelevant information, as there is some summer work information for 5th grade that looks different because they're entering middle school. And their uniforms will be different. So again, if you're not in 5th grade, to avoid confusion, I would suggest that you continue your evening as planned.
Ms. Williams will be reissuing Chromebooks in July. So if you need a Chromebook for the summer program.
No, will not, unless you need it. We will, if you need it for a summer program, absolutely. We will be giving those back out after they've been re-imaged and they've been worked on by our tech team. But unless you need it for your summer program, we will not be giving them back out for the summer.
Yeah, that's what I was saying, Ms. G, for the summer program, of course. All right, Ms. G, I gotta go. Ms. Boren, G, can you make Boren the co-host so she can help out with the
Yes. Ms. Boren, what is your username? Oh, there you go. I see. Thank you. Awesome. I'm just going to give everybody one more minute before I get started. We are looking like we're getting smaller numbers, but I hope that we have just 5th graders. My student friends that are on here, if you are not in 5th grade, you will hear this presentation next year. If you're not in 5th grade, Jeremiah, it sounded like you were not in 5th grade. Ms. Horror, I will also make you co-host. If you see any students that don't need to be here, please remove them.
Sure, no problem. Good afternoon, everyone.
So in terms of returning Chromebooks, yes, on the 16th and 17th. And Ms. Brown, I can't remember, are you a 5th grade parent or just a K-4 parent?
Yes, I'm Jaden's brown mom.
Okay, you'll hear everything we talked about in our meeting right now. So let's just get started. It looks like we have about a majority of people here. This is getting recorded, so this will be back up on the website. Let's get started. If you are unmuted, please mute yourselves, or if anyone that is a co-host can just mute people that are not muted, that would be great. Fifth grade, welcome. If you're not in fifth grade, this is your last reminder. You do not have to stay for this portion. The second portion of this meeting is a lot of the repeated information that we've already talked about in K-4, but it pertains just to fifth grade. And that is because fifth grade is going into sixth grade, and they have some different things happening over the summer, and they have some different summer work. And of course, we will touch on graduation, what graduation will look like, so that you can be prepared for your big day. So let's begin with just what is happening to the end of the year when it comes to hybrid and in-person days. The end of the school year is coming, and on Tuesday, June 8th is going to be the last in-person day for all students. That means the last in-person day. Thank you. Missions. I apologize about that. One more moment. There we go. The end of this, your last day in person, if you're already hybrid, is going to be Tuesday, June 8th. After that, from June 9th until June 16th, you will be fully remote. And again, that does not mean to not come to school remotely. It means that we will be taking attendance until that very last day. It is imperative that you continue to come to school until June 16th. But from June 9th, June 10th, June 11th, June 14th, 15th, and 16th, those are going to be fully remote days. Now, fifth grade graduation. Your fifth grade graduation will be on June 10th at 4 p.m. I know that everyone here is getting really excited about it. It will be the first time we get to see such a large group of a grade, which is going to be really exciting after such a surprising and intense year. It will be outdoors in the schoolyard on the blacktop. Students must arrive by 3:30. You should come through the Park Place entrance from the schoolyard so that you can get ready and set up with us. That is where we will be meeting you at 3:30. This is in order for you to make sure that you have your cap, you have your stole, you have everything you need. On that day, you will have to go to morning meeting at 8 a.m., but the rest of the day will be asynchronous work. And this is so that you guys can get ready for your day. If you need to go get your hair done, if you need to go and, buy some new clothes or buy some new shoes, this will be the day and the time to do that. But please remember to submit your asynchronous work and to be on time for graduation. On time means 3:30. Right now, the weather is looking very, very good. We can only hope that it stays that way. If not, the rain date will be the following day, but I am going to just continue on and focus on the fact that it should be sunny and we should be good to go. All students have up to 2 adult guests. And again, this is based on the space that we have in maintaining social distance in the schoolyard. And therefore, students can have 2 adult guests, and any child under the age of 10 can also join, meaning that if they have siblings or a few cousins, as long as they are under 10 years old, they can be added on. They may just need to sit in laps or stand by the adults, because all family cohorts will be seated together. We do have a map of this, so you will be able to see exactly what that looks like. And in order to actually come to the graduation, you must sign up on signup.com. We have many parents who already have, but you cannot enter this graduation without having signed up. I will put that link in the chat right now, just to make sure that everyone here has it. But it is really important that all families have signed up for via signup.com. We will have security checking off people on a list, because we do have a limit on how many adults can come for a family. I know that we have a set of twins, and so you're a little lucky in that way, because you technically have you have a total of 4 invites. But otherwise, we're asking that there are only 2 adults per family. If you see this to be an issue, please reach out to myself or to each one of your teachers and we can figure something out. But for now, that is the case. I'm going to be putting the sign up link inside of the chat in case you do not have it. Next, each student will be getting a cap and a stole. Those are those sashes that will be draped over their gold. Those were given out to many of the hybrid students today. Remote students will be able to pick up the caps and the stoles between June 7th and 10th. Again, this is optional. You can wait until you come at 3:30 on the day of graduation. You do not have to pick them up. We can just put them on when you guys get here. But for ladies, you know, you want to make sure, we already tested it out. You can use pins and all of that to get it on if you have like a hairstyle that won't allow you to put the cap on your head, but it is exactly how you imagined. It is adjustable. But if you want to be able to test it out with the hairstyle that you're having, I would suggest coming between the 7th and the 10th if you're fully remote. If you were in the building today, or if you will be in the building next Monday and Tuesday, you will get it during school time. Otherwise, if you're fully remote, you have June 7th and 8th between 2:30 and 4:30 to come, or on June 9th and 10th that week between 9 a.m. and 3 p.m. Again, you do not actually have to come, but if you would like to come because you want to have the cap and the stole, you want to try it on with your outfit, those would be the times to come. Otherwise, you will get it at 3:30 right before we begin the ceremony. And now for what our ceremony will look like. As you can see, this is just an example I got off the internet. We will be on the blacktop, so we will not be on grass, but the idea is the same. We will have each student in the front, in front of 3 chairs that will be behind them. And those will be the family members that will be with you. And those will all be socially distanced on the side, in front of the stage and the podium where teachers and the principal will be. Meaning this will allow out all family cohorts to be near each other, but distance from other family cohorts. We will also have balloons and we will have backdrops for you guys to take pictures. And so know that there will be some time at the end after 5 o'clock, after the ceremony is over, for everybody to take pictures. We will be able to enter the building for, if anyone needs to use the bathroom, there will be signage for that. And you will be entering from Park Place at 3:30. Again, please make sure you go to signup.com to enter in the people who will be your guests. Otherwise, they will not be allowed to come in if they are not part of the signup.com. We will have security and they will be at the door looking for the names of the people who are there. And so it's really, really important. For this graduate sign up, it is this Friday. That being said, as long as you have it at least 3 days in advance, so up and any time from June 3rd until June 7th is ideal. And if you need to change something, please email us if you need to change a name or if someone can't make it and you've already signed up, because I have put a limit on how many times you can sign up. You can only sign up once. And so that is why the family that we have with twins, they can sign up a second time, even though they have 2 students, because the same email can only sign up once. And there's only enough spots for the number of students that we have here in the grade. I'm going to just pause right here for questions in regards to graduation, because we're going to get into the rest of the school year and some information for middle school and next year. Does anybody have any questions in regards to graduation?
Hello.
Hi.
Hi, I'm Isabella's mother.
Hello.
How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Okay, I'm fine, thank you. I told Miss Hora and Miss Arabia that I would like to help to decorate the, with some balloons and the graduation. So I will send a Miss Hora what I try to make, and then I don't know, she maybe say.
Absolutely, yes, she did mention this, and anyone that would like to volunteer to help, you guys are more than welcome to. We will be decorating from 12 to 3 that day.
Okay.
And because we'll be outside, you can just call the main office and we can sort of set up and you can tell me what you need, or I can also provide you with my phone number if you need to text me any pictures or any ideas that you have. But we are more than happy. The more the balloons and the more decorations, the better it will be for everybody.
Okay. Okay. So we got your phone number and I text you. Okay.
Okay, I will definitely do that.
Okay. Okay. Other question. I tried to make registration for the graduation, but I think I need to down one app, right?
You shouldn't need to download that. It should just be a website. If you use this sign up page.
Mm-hmm. Okay, well, I will try this afternoon. If I can, I'll let Ms. Hor or Ms. Ravi, okay?
Yeah, and we can always sign you up and make sure that we have the right students and the right family members.
Okay, okay, thank you.
Quick question, are they allowed to decorate their souls?
Yes, they are.
Okay, thank you.
Yep, so that's another reason to get it earlier is if you do want to decorate the hat or the stole, they can absolutely decorate it.
Hi, I'm just joining. What did I just miss?
We were just talking to go back to, we just talked about the graduation, outdoors, all families should arrive by 3:30. On June 10th, students will have to go to morning meeting at 8 a.m., but the rest of the day will be async so that they can get ready. Right now, the weather is looking great, so we should be good to go. And all students have 2 adult guests that they can have, and then any children on their time can also join them in addition to the 2 adults. You must sign up on signup.com. I will also put that link again in order to guarantee that any of your guests will be welcome. Then we discussed the caps and the stole. It's going to be a gold sash and a blue hat. And those will be given out to hybrid students. Some of them got it today. If you're an in-person student, you can either get it, you either got it today or you can wait until next week. If you're fully remote, you can pick it up on June 7th, 8th, 9th, or 10 during the times that you see on the slide here. But you don't have to. This is optional. We were just discussing how some families want to decorate the stole or decorate the cap, which is more than allowed. But you would probably need to pick up the stole and the cap early in order to be able to do that. And so you'll be able to pick it up between June 7th and 8th, between 2:30 and 4:30, or June 9th and 10th between 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. And then this will be our seating chart. But right now, okay, we're on good time. But right, if there are no more questions on graduations, I'll give us one more second, then we'll go on to tech return and summer work for middle school, and then uniform for middle school, as 5th grade will have a lot of those changes happening for next year.
So I have another question, like this graduation for, is June 10 is for all of them?
The graduation?
Yes, because my son is Alpha, he's kindergarten.
Kindergarten is June 9th in the morning. It's virtual, but June 10th, 5th grade is going to in person outside. Students will arrive at 3:30. The official ceremony starts at 4.
Oh, okay.
All right, if there are no more questions on graduation, and again, if anything comes up, we will have time for questions at the end. We will get into a few other items for the closing out the school year and entering middle school. So just like everybody in K-4, all students in 5th grade will need to return their technology, meaning their Chromebook, a charger, any hotspots that you have, between June 16th, between 12 to 4 o'clock, or June 17th, all day between 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. This is so that we can make sure that we make any updates to Chromebooks, we fix anything that needs fixing. But the difference with 5th grade is that all of your summer work will be online. Again, for my K-4 families, if you have students in kindergarten next year, first grade, second grade, third grade, or fourth grade, you will have paper packets, but the middle school students, meaning anyone that is going into sixth grade, is going to have work online. And so in early July, you will need to come back and pick up a laptop if you need it for summer work. The summer work will be on a Google Classroom that you will receive from Ms. Woolley. If you have a laptop that your child can use at home, you can use a personal laptop, but if you do not, you will have an opportunity in early July, somewhere around July 10th, to come back and pick up a laptop so that you can complete the incoming sixth grade summer work. This is super important since in middle school, there is no playing around with those packets or the summer work. All summer work will need to be complete. I know that if it is not completed by the due date, I believe they have the due date a little bit after the first day of school, students will need to stay at lunch to complete it until it's all done. And so it is really important that this year's fifth graders make sure they do their summer classwork. Otherwise, they're going to have a rough start to sixth grade, and we don't want that. I will be going into a little bit more into what their summer work will look like over the next slide. So for next year, sixth graders will start on Wednesday, August 18th. This is a day earlier than the rest of the students are starting. This is because they will be new to middle school. So it'll be very much like the kindergarten students that are coming in next year. So your first day will be August 18th. It is a Wednesday. There are some key differences here. Students will have 7 different teachers next year for all of their subjects, which means that they will have greater independence and more responsibility. They will be moving between classrooms, meaning they'll be moving from math to ELA to social studies, and they will continue to have science, art, PE, and they will have Spanish class next year. Then another major difference will be their culture system. We've been using Class Dojo in K-5, but next year you will be using, I believe it is called, Miss Woolley will let you know what it's called, but you'll have the opportunity to sign up. And that is where they will be providing you with daily updates on academic behaviors and personal responsibility systems. A few other updates will be that your class sizes will be smaller. You'll go from 30 students per classroom to about 20 students per classroom. But students will continue to move around with the same group of students every day, meaning that the 20 students in their class that they start with will be the same students that they will go to all of their classes with. And like I said, students will be transitioning between rooms so they can learn to be responsible for their belongings and to keep track of their things. There will be daily after school programming available for all 6th to 8th graders until 5:30. This is something that you'll be able to sign up for next year. And you will have your official orientation with Ms. Bazumzi, who is the middle school principal, and Ms. Woolley, who is the assistant principal, on August 9th. They will be providing you with information. So any information after June 17th will not be coming from me or from the lower school. You will officially be entering the incoming 6th grade year. So anything you get will be from Ms. Woolley or Ms. Bazumzi herself. And so you can expect them to continue on and get you transitioned up to middle school. So as the K-4 groups, we will be expecting all middle school to be in person 5 days a week. As we said in K-4, we do not know if there will be a remote option yet. Right now, Mayor de Blasio said that he is not providing remote instruction. Earlier, about a month ago, he said that he would have remote instruction. So again, we are unsure of where we as a charter school will stand, whether we will be allowed to give our families the option of remote learning if the DOE is not allowing for remote learning. And so the more we know from the DOE, the more we will be able to provide you with information. So please continue to look out for that. That is why we are still asking That is why we are still asking that all families continue to fill out the remote learning, the 21 learning mode survey. If you haven't already, this is because we do not know whether we will be offering or not offering remote instruction next year. And so in the event that we do, we will be able to provide anyone that is interested in remote learning with that ability. And so again, if you have not filled out the survey for your learning mode next year, please make sure you do that. That survey is on our website, and I can also provide it to you in the chat. And again, many of you have already filled this out. So if you've already filled out your learning mode survey, you are okay. If you have not, please make sure that you fill it out as soon as possible. And I see that somebody sent me a question about Chromebooks. I will get back to you just as soon as I'm done talking. So that's Fatimata. I'll get back to you in a little bit. And we will let you know what the official decision is on remote learning as soon as the DOE announces it. And now school uniforms. This is a big change. 6th graders, 6th, 7th, and 8th graders are no longer going to be wearing the gray polo. They will now be wearing the navy polo with the logo. It is at Cookies or Ideal Uniform Store. You'll be asked to wear gray pants, no jeans, shorts, or skirt. Gray pants are allowed, gray shorts, gray skirt. You can wear shoes choice. This is something new. Sweaters or long sleeve must be solid black, gray, or navy without a hood. This means that a cardigan, it can be a navy, a black, or a gray, solid with no hood. You will have Empower sweatshirts to purchase next year as well. And again, this is for 6th graders. And then another thing that middle schoolers will be able to do this year is summer enrichment trips. Empower upper staff will be leading these trips on Tuesdays, starting July 6th to August 3rd for all 6 to 8 families. Some of the places that they'll be going is Brooklyn Bridge Park, Prospect Park, Coney Island Aquarium, the Street Art Tour, and the American Museum of Natural History. These will all be with Empower staff, upper school staff members, and you guys will be traveling through subways. These are just a way for people to hang out, to see each other over the summer, and to meet their Empower upper teachers and just have some fun. If you would like to participate, please make sure that you're contacting Ms. Woolley. This is going to be, if you need to contact or are interested in any of these trips, you should have already gotten a lot of that communication, as I know that Ms. Woolley is including all 5th graders in the middle school communication. But if you have any questions for Ms. Woolley or about middle school, about any of these trips, I'm just going to leave her information up here for a little while before we move on. She is more than available on this phone number via text, or you can call her and leave a message, or you can simply email her. But this will be the information and the person to talk to if you have any questions. Are there currently any questions? Okay, great. Well, then I will move on. Required summer work. If you are in 5th grade right now and you're listening, I cannot stress this enough. This is extremely important for you to do in order to be able to start 6th grade successfully. ELA and math work is required over the summer to practice the skills that you need for 6th grade. It will be provided electronically through Google Classroom. You will have a Google Classroom called 6th grade summer 21 work. Suleiman, you will graduate on the blacktop. We'll go back to graduation if there's further questions at the end. All work will be posted on Google Classroom. It'll be due on the first day of school and it'll count as your 1st grade. Specific details will come out next week, the week of June 7th, but you will also be able to complete the work using tech when you come back to pick it up on July 5th. So again, everybody must return their tech on June 16th and 17th. And that is because there's a lot of updates that need to be made to all of the technology. And so they must all be returned. You will be able to get it back again in 2 weeks after that, on July 5th or the week of July 5th, if you need it for summer work or for any of your summer programs. But you will need to return it before you can get it back. This is extremely important. And so I know that I had a question earlier, if you can keep your computer, and the answer is yes and no. You will need to come to return your tech on June 16th or 17th. Even if you need it, you need to come and return it. The reason for that is so that we can make updates to all the technology. You can come back to Empower to get the technology back, to do your summer work, to do your summer programs the week of July 5th. And so for 3 weeks, we need the technology back, but you will get it back to you again in July. So again, you bring it back to Empower June 17th or 16th, and then you come back to get it for the rest of the summer on the week of July 5th. Let me know if anyone has questions around that, because it's a little bit different than the kindergarten through 4th grade. Kindergarten through 4th grade does not need a laptop. 6th graders for next year will need a laptop for their summer work. And so you will need to return to the building to get your laptop again. Questions?
I have a question.
Yes.
My daughter is going to be doing the CAS prep.
Mhm.
Brielle's going to 6th grade. And my son is going to be doing the tutor by teachers summer program. They start July 6th and July, they both start July 6th. And I need to make sure, how do I guarantee by July 5th, I can pick their computers back up?
I would say definitely contact Miss Woolley. She will answer your call or call you back if you leave a message.
Okay.
She can work that out with you because she'll be around over the summer and she can prioritize that, especially if you need it for a summer program.
Okay. Thank you.
And then Suleiman B, can you please unmute and ask your question to everybody here? Because I'm not sure how I can support you.
My mom said, like, where should we go? She's kind of confused where we should go for graduation.
Yeah, so the graduation will be on the blacktop. Do you know where the playground is? In the back of the school?
The playground?
Mm-hmm. Yep, it's going to be outside.
Okay, it's going to be outside of the school.
Mm-hmm. Are there any other questions before we move on to, we just have a couple more slides left before we move on to the slides and close out with any further questions? Nope. Okay. In that case, again, these are just a couple of the upcoming events. This is just overall what's happening, both for 5th grade, but overall for everybody until the end of the year. 5th grade will have their iReady assessment for the rest of this week. It will all be digital, but it will be happening during your ELA blocks. So please make sure that you're ready for that tomorrow and Thursday and Friday. Again, if you have any kindergartners tomorrow, if you're fully remote, you will be coming to the school to take pictures. Next Tuesday will be our last day in the building for 5th grade. The following Wednesday, June 9th, is when we have a virtual kindergarten graduation for anyone here who has a child in kindergarten. But June 10th is going to be our 5th grade graduation in person. You will need to arrive outside on the blacktop from the Park Place side by 3:30 p.m. June 15th, this is new, we'll have your virtual field day. And then June 16th is anyone that is in 1st, 2nd, 3rd, or 4th grade will have a virtual award ceremony. This is also the last day for students. So this is the day that you can come to return your tech on the 16th between 12 to 4, or on the 17th between 9 to 4. As 5th graders who will need to do summer work on the computer, in July, you will get notice on when you can come back to get your laptops again for summer classwork or for any of the summer programs that you signed up for. If you have any questions in regards to middle school or tech pickup or summer programming or school uniforms, please make sure you contact Ms. Woolley. If you have graduation questions or end of the year 5th grade questions, or anything in regards to K-4, please make sure you reach out to me. I'm going to put my phone number again in the chat. And you can also email Empower Operations at explorenetwork.org. But if you do not have any questions, now is the time for any, well, if there's nothing else, now's the time for any extra questions. If you have no questions, Ms. Farah, is there anything that the teacher, you guys wanted to remind people? I know there's yearbooks happening and a few other things.
Ms. G, you read my mind. I was typing it in. So we are finishing up our yearbook, and I want to make sure everyone who wants to be included is in there. So I'm going to put my phone number in the chat. If you have a baby picture of your student that you'd like to send over, there's going to be a couple of pages like name that baby at the end of the yearbook. So you can send that to my phone number, which I'm putting in the chat right now. And also, if you are perhaps newer to the school, so I do have a lot of pictures from like 4th grade and 3rd grade and even 2nd grade, because there's the teachers that were your teachers gave me some photos. But if you have a recent photo that you want to send me that you haven't had a chance to, you can send it to me in the chat. Especially if you're maybe a newer scholar to the school, we want to make sure you're represented as well. So you can send over like a selfie of you doing something you love or your baby picture as well. Thank you.
If you have any questions, you can unmute yourself and just speak to everybody. You don't have to write it in the chat.
I have a question. The clothes, how we need to dress for the graduation?
Right back to that slide. So for middle school, it is different.
No, for graduation.
Oh, that's a great question. Any formal wear, anything that you would like. I would say you can either wear your Empower polo, but you can also wear a button down. It's really, you know, it's whatever you want to just, you know, represent a really proud day. But the dress, there is no formal dress code. You do not have to wear your uniform. You know, people have rolled up in suits, people have rolled up in polos, you know, lots of beautiful dresses. It's really up to you and your discretion.
No, I'm wearing this.
Okay, thank you.
And so if you don't have any further questions, you can.
I have a question.
Yeah, sure.
How do we find out about the test that the kids took, the New York State Math and ELA, the results?
Yeah, they usually, so Ms. Roth just answered right in the chat, but they usually come late August. They might come sooner this year because there weren't any open response items, but you guys would get them before we get them, meaning that you will get it in the mail before we do.
Okay, thank you.
No problem.
I have a question about the uniform.
Mhm.
So you change the color for kindergarten, first grade because it was gray shirt and blue pants. So you change that color.
Again, yep, and that's true. Remember, this is just sixth grade. Middle school, this is the uniform. If you were here for my first presentation, I'm gonna go way back there. This is the uniform, right?
Perfect. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But middle school is like the opposite, dark blue top, gray bottoms. So anyone in middle school it's really a way to differentiate and to provide that sense of leadership to our middle school kids, and to differentiate and make them feel like they're actually, going to a new school, because everything will be very different. Are we having a cap and gown or just a cap? You will just be having a cap and a stole. I actually have one here that I can show you. So again, you will have, let me see if I can see myself.
Oh, and Miss G, I just wanted to say the scholars that were in person today and the wolves, they received theirs. So make sure you look in their book bags, because the cap, we don't, they have like pointy corners, but they received all of these things and they should be in their book bags.
Yep. And so for those of you that haven't, this is what the stole will look like. And so it'll just hang like this on top of whatever dress or whatever you're going to be wearing. And then this will be the hat. It will have a little, I don't forget what you call that thing.
Tassel.
Tassel. Thank you. But yes, and as we said earlier, if you didn't hear, you can decorate the stole, you can decorate the hat. But that is all optional. You can keep it just like this and just pick it up on the day of graduation at 3:30. But if you haven't received it yet, again, June 7th, 8th, 9th, and 10th is when you can come pick it up if you're a fully remote student. I will say, if you come after 2:30, even this Thursday or Friday, we will be able to provide it to you. It's just difficult when kids are in the building for us to be able to come up and down the stairs. And so we're just trying to give you guys some realistic times that it'll be available. Again, if you feel like all of your questions have been answered, you are more than free to go. If you have questions still, we will be hanging out for the next 4 minutes to answer any questions that you guys might have. This was recorded, and I will send out an email with the recording of it. So please make sure that you have a look out for that. All of this information will also be on our website.
Sorry, I have one more question.
Mm-hmm.
So then they say Isabella is going to 6th grade, right? So it's starting on August 19th? I take a picture already.
Oh, okay.
But
June 18th, August 18th.
Oh yeah, August 18th. The what time to what time?
Oh, 7:30 to 8 is arrival, and 3:30, just like last year.
Oh, 3:30 is the when they finish school.
Yep.
Okay. So, and then I don't need to ¿cómo se dice? Make the application for personal, right?
As long as you've already filled it out that you want to be in person, then you're fine. I've already written down that anyone who is currently in person, I assumed would be in person next year. And so if you hadn't already filled out the survey, I've already sort of filled it out for you, assuming that you wouldn't change your mind. But it would be helpful for you to fill out the survey if you haven't already. I'll put the link in here. But anyone that is currently hybrid, I have assumed will remain in person next year.
Okay, okay, thank you.